Welcome to EduTips, a side project of the Cult of Pedagogy podcast where I share one quick idea to make your teaching better. This is Jennifer Gonzalez, and I am your host. This EduTip is sponsored by Floop. Do you spend hours giving feedback only to find students throwing it in the trash? Floop is an app that allows teachers to give feedback 4 times faster. After students submit their work through the app, teachers can respond quickly with comment banks, audio comments, hand-drawn responses, and feedback that can be anchored to specific places on images. Unlike other assessment tools, Floop uses research-based strategies to teach students how to give feedback and use their feedback to learn. Through dialogue and revision, students can act fast on the feedback they receive. On top of that, Floop allows them to do peer review and self-assessment, which both build feedback literacy. Go to floopedu.com/edutips to get a special offer for EduTips listeners, or contact them at team@floopedu.com for a school license. Today's EduTip is use huddles to communicate during group work. Picture this. You have gotten your students started on some kind of group work, and they're buzzing right along. After a few minutes, you realize there's an important piece of information you need to give the groups. Maybe it's a slight change in the original instructions, some hint that will make the work go more smoothly, or a next step that they need to know about. One way to handle this, which is the route I often took, is to shout above the productive noise in the room until everyone has stopped talking in their groups and is looking at you, then deliver the information. While this certainly gets the message sent, it disrupts the flow of work happening in the groups and requires you to raise your voice, which many teachers would rather not do all day long. A different approach is to use huddles, where one representative from each group comes over to you. You huddle up in as tight a group as you're allowed to by current social distancing guidelines, and you calmly give that group the information. Once they have it, they can then return to their groups and deliver the message. No yelling needed, no disruption to the flow. This tip came up in episode 172 of my regular podcast, a conversation I was having with Connie Hamilton about the esteem level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Our main focus was not on group work, but she used this as an example of ways to elevate students' sense of esteem. Although it is a good classroom management strategy overall, it also has the added benefit of giving students an important role. So if you have a student who tends to be more shy or less inclined to take on a leadership role, giving them this responsibility might boost their feelings of efficacy and value in the group. That's your tip for this time. You can find a written version of these tips at cultofpedagogy.com/edutips. Now go forth, make thoughtful choices, and teach.